Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Good morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started with our chin tucks and our head turns. So you can be seated or standing. Just remember, we're really trying to create that length through our vertebrae. Okay, feel that space between each. We're gonna start with 10 chin tucks back. Ready? And begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're going to do our head turns. Always coming back to the middle, 5 per side. Ready? Begin. Turn, center. Turn, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's go ahead and if you're standing, let's go ahead and be seated for this one. Edge of the chair, feet are coming out a little bit wider. We're going to do our seated cat-cows, and we're going to do 5 repetitions here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to round and tuck our chin, trying to arch and stretch, and then we're going to reverse the motion. We're going to lift our chest to ceiling. Our head comes up. All right, so we get this flexion and extension of the neck and the back. All right, just visualize those vertebrae moving, okay? And trying to stretch and round and reach. And one more here. Good. All right, from that, we're going to do 4 count cherry picker. So from a seated position, you're on the edge of your chair, your feet stay wide like this. We're going to come out, middle, in, and up. Okay, and you can also do this from your standing position, right? Just like this. Out, middle, in, and up. Okay, we have 5 repetitions. Let's get ready and begin. 1, 2, remember seated or standing, whatever feels good. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's come back to everyone to a seated position here, and we're going to do these arc overs. Okay, we're going to twist. So now we're going to wake up our thoracic spine by doing these rotations here. Okay, so here we go. Ready? We're going to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to go through those 3 exercises one more time. So we're going to start with our seated cat-cows for 5. Okay, really, again, with your spine, you're just visualizing that you're going to go ahead and round and tuck the chin, and then you're going to reverse it and scoop and come back up. Okay, really try to feel that flexion and extension. 2, 3 more just like that. 3, 4, and 1 more. And 5. Good. Now we have 5 4-count cherry pickers. If you're doing it from your chair, you stay exactly in the same position. And if you'd like, you can stand up here as well. Okay. So here we go. We have 5 reps, 4 count. Ready? And begin. Out, middle, in, 1. out, middle, in, 2, out, middle, in, 3, out, middle, in, 4, out, middle, in, and 5. Good. Coming back down to our seated position. This way our hips stay forward as we rotate through that thoracic spine. We're going to do 10 total, 5 per side. Okay, so let's go ahead and reach those arms up and over. So we do a little shoulder mobility here too. 1, 2, looking behind that shoulder. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and do either a seated march here, okay, or a standing march. Okay, opposite hand and foot pattern. We're going to do 20 reps, 10 per side. Ready? And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. That's our 20 reps. That's 10 per side. Okay, and now we're going to come into heel raises. So if you're seated, you're just going to lift your heels off the floor from a seated position. Okay, up and down here. You can put your hands on your thighs and kind of put a little pressure, or you can stand here. We're going to do 15 reps. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good. All right, we're going to go back to our march. Okay, 10 per side, seated or standing, opposite hand and foot pattern. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, great. 15 calf raises, seated or standing. Ready? And begin. 1, or heel raises. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay, we're going to sit it down. The last thing we're going to do is just a little neck and trap stretch here. So just go ahead for about 10 seconds here. We're just kind of pulling and pressing, feeling the neck kind of loosen up here. And then same thing other side. We're not holding it for a very long period of time, just a little bit to wake up those muscles, get them ready to work. And relax. Okay. So first block is a superset. We're going to continue on with our new pattern we started last week, which is our sit, squat to hinge pattern. Okay. So what that looks like from your standing, your more advanced option here is you're in your sit squat pattern. So my feet are in between my shoulders and hips, somewhere around that range. Okay. I have a 90-degree bend from my chair or somewhere around there. Okay. And we're going to drive up through our heels, right? Then from that standing position, we push the hips back, keeping the spine neutral, and bend forward, squeeze the glutes up, and then sit it back down. Okay, so drive up, hinge, up, and back down. Okay, we can move at whatever tempo feels good for us. If you remember, with allergy season, sometimes we feel a little extra dizzy, and those things come into play. Now, if you're doing the seated variation, which I will do for round 1, we're going to do leg extension, hinge, up. Leg extension, hinge, up. Okay, so that's our seated variation there. Our second exercise is going to be upper body combination of our curl and press. okay? Curl and press. Now, a couple different things. If going overhead hurts, okay, if that's too much movement for you, you can try something like a push. You can take one dumbbell, push, pull it back, push, pull it back, push, pull it back. So this could be an alternative for a curl and press. If this motion hurts, okay, see if a push and a pull with one weight feels better going in that vertical position instead of or that horizontal position instead of that vertical position, okay? All right, so we're going to start with our, geez, that could have gotten my tongue. Our sit squat to good morning. Remember, I am going to do the seated variation first. So I'm going to do alternating leg extension to my hinge, okay? So let's get ready. Feet are about hip to shoulder width apart, okay? In 3, 2, and 1. I'm doing the seated variation. So instead of my sit to stand, I'm doing alternated leg extension, and then I'm hinging, okay? Remember, we're nice and active through that hinge, okay? We're really, think of a suitcase or a clamshell closing. I'm keeping that length in my spine, okay? I'm not rounding through my upper back. And from that standing variation, what really helps with that is thinking of your hips pushing back versus your head tipping forward, okay? With my seated variation here, I'm keeping my feet flexed as I extend my legs to help get into my quadricep muscle. 3, 2, and time. Excellent. So now we're going to do our curl and press, okay? You could take, if 2 dumbbells is too much, you could always take 1 dumbbell, okay? And remember, if overhead hurts, maybe you'd like to try your press, pull it back, press, pull it back, okay? Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and do the traditional curl and press, okay? But just keep your other alternatives in mind. And if it's too confusing to remember, if I'm saying too much and you just wanna do a bicep curl, do that, keep moving, okay? I wish there was like 3 of me to demo like everything at once. You know, that'd be great. Clone myself. Good. 5 more seconds here. And time. Okay, we are going to go back to that first exercise. So if you're remaining seated, remember it's your leg extension to hinge. I am going to be standing for round 2 now. My feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. Okay, here we go. We're going to drive it up, pressing through the heels, push the hips back, nice neutral spine, squeeze the glutes up, and then sit it back down. So squat pattern, hinge pattern. And it's a 4 count. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go at a tempo that feels good for you. Remember, like I said, sometimes allergy season can leave us feeling a little bit more dizzy, a little bit more fluid in the inner ears or whatever. Okay, it can make us feel a little nauseous. So if this movement makes you feel a little unstable, slow it down or, stop early. Okay, time. Back to our curl and press, okay? Seated or standing, since I'm demoing. I'm actually, guys, I'm gonna stay seated because I have the ceiling fan above and I don't wanna potentially hit it with my knuckles here. So it looks the same seated or standing. If you're standing, remember you're keeping your glutes squeezed and that's gonna protect your lower back as you're lifting weight overhead, okay? You can take this to just a bicep curl or you can take a single dumbbell and push the dumbbell forward and back, okay? These are your alternatives if you have shoulder pain and overhead does not feel good. Almost there. 3, 2, and time. Okay, we have 1 more round. Now, if you're feeling strong, if you're feeling good about that squat to hinge pattern and you'd like to take a dumbbell and hold it into your chest right here, you can do that to advance the movement slightly to add a little more resistance. So what that looks like, instead of folding our arms across our chest, now I'm holding a dumbbell or a water bottle or some type of weight, a kettlebell, right in front of my chest, okay? Only do this if you feel strong enough to do that. The important thing is quality movement pattern, okay? And mind-muscle connection. So don't worry about the weight so much. It's just a quality movement. Drive through the heels, press up, squeeze the glutes, push the hips back, all right? Squeeze the glutes up, lower it down, okay? Weight stays in the heels. You're thinking about your glutes and your legs with this combination. 2 and time. Okay, good. All done with those. We have one more round of curl to press or just a bicep curl, and your other alternative is a push, pull, push, pull, okay? So here we go, because here is a pull and a push, okay? So see how that horizontal pattern alternative that I gave you is still combining a push movement and a pull movement, just as this is. This is a pull up, push up, okay? So we're combining 2 types of movement into one exercise. We're gonna rest after this so we can get ready for our next block. And time. All right, superset 1 is in the books. Next, we are going to go to a 9-minute tricep free exercise. So again, keeping in line with new exercises that we started last week, I'm going to show it's where we're our chair squat, where we're holding the back of this chair with the lateral leg lift. But let me show you your seated version first. So if you're going to remain seated, we're going to do a leg extension, lateral tap, leg extension. And in fact, on your lateral tap, what I want you to do here, instead of coming through your toe, I want you to think of your heel guiding that, okay? So leg extension, foot is flexed, keep the foot flexed as you tap the heel out to the side. And you're gonna do the other side, okay? So leg extension, lateral heel tap. Now, your standing variation, it's what we've been working on. This is either week 2 or week 3. I forget. I think this might be week 3. Is our chair squat. Okay. So I'm driving up, and then through the heel of my foot, I'm leading out to the side there. Okay. And then I'm coming back to hip to shoulder width apart with my stance, so I can hit the other side. What I want you to remember is this leg extension is about guiding through the heel of your foot. Okay. So let the heel, not the toe, lead it. And you're trying to stay relatively straight here. You're not trying to reach so far that your upper body starts to move in the opposite direction. Okay, you stay upright here. So that range of motion is not humongous, okay? But you're trying to get into that glute med. This is for hip health, knee health, and stabilization, okay? So again, it's chair squat, drive through the heel, lift through the heel. Back down. Chair squat, drive through the heel, lift through the other heel, back down, okay? Our second exercise is our 6 count. It's the hinge, the row, and the kickback. Remember, I like to use count to help with my coordination of movements that have a lot of components to it, right? So from our standing position, my feet are underneath my hips, and it's hinge, row, kick back, return, 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 okay? So that ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? All right, I'll count out the first few reps. I don't want to count the entire time because with everyone being different, I don't want my count to mess up your coordination if your pace is different than mine. That movement from our seated position is hinge forward, row, kick back, and up, okay? When I'm trying to hinge forward, I'm thinking of staying nice and elongated through the spine, okay? I'm not rounding to lean forward. I'm trying to stay nice and erect. So wherever that range of motion is for you, once you start to feel your body wanting to round, then that's probably a little too far, okay? Stay nice and elongated through that spine from the seated position, okay? And then our last one here, weights are going to be put aside, and here we are. Posture, upper back, we're doing middle trap here, rhomboids, and shoulder internal and external rotation, a little bit of rear delt, okay? This is really good for shoulder health. If you find you have limited range of motion and are not able to get up overhead or out to the side easily, these are excellent exercises to help with your shoulder mobility. Remember, that is foundation, okay? That is foundation work right there. It's super important. All right, so that looks the same seated or standing. So enough talking. Here we go. My coffee was stronger this morning. Do I sound like I'm talking more? I can't tell. All right, so we are doing our chair squat to a lateral leg raise. Round one, I am going to be seated here. So I'm going to do my leg extension to lateral tap combo. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. So from the seated position, it's through the heel, leg extension, and then through the heel, lateral tap. Now the other side. Alternatively, if you're standing, you're holding onto the back of your chair slightly, okay? Trying not to have too heavy of a grip, challenge yourself a little bit, sinking back into those hips, driving through the heels to standing, and then lifting through that heel on that lateral leg raise, keeping the torso nice and upright. Good, we have about 5 more seconds here. We're going to go into our second exercise. Remember, this one's a tricep. And time. Okay, so now we're going to go grab your weights, your water bottles, or your weights. Okay, we're going to go into our 6 count hinge, row, kick back, and then we return it all, okay? So here we go. Elongated through the spine. I'm hinging forward, rowing, kick back, and I'm going to return, return, return. I'm going to count it out now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first 3 movements are our hinge, our row, our kick back, and the last 3 are just reversing the pattern, okay? Hinge, row, kick back, return, 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 okay? All right, time on that one. Next, we're going to go to our body weight movement here. If you have a pair of 1-pound dumbbells, you can use them to or your water bottles, but really this is about range of motion and mobility, so no weight is really required here, okay? So here we go. We're going to pull back, okay? Forward, back, okay? Think of the shoulder blades pulling back, okay? That proximal part of the body is really doing the work here. So don't think the elbows are pulling back, even though they are. Think of the shoulder blades doing the work to make those elbows pull back, right? So squeeze through the shoulder blades. Good. Pull back, internal rotation, external rotation, forward. Internal, external, forward. Pull back. Together, and time. That's round 1. We're going to go back to the top. I am going to move into our standing variation now. So that is with our chair lunge, okay? So we're going to do our sink back, and then we're going to drive up and into a lateral leg raise. Here we go. So my feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. Sink it back, drive through the heel, lateral leg raise through the heel. Other side. You're trying to keep your upper body nice and upright. So the range of motion for that lateral leg raise may be small. Okay, but if you tip your body too much in the opposite direction, if your head goes in the opposite direction as your foot, you kind of lose the glute medius, that muscle we're trying to work. So it's okay if the range of motion is small. We're just trying to activate and tighten that muscle. You might feel a nice inner thigh stretch here too. And time, okay. Our second exercise is our 6 count hinge, row, kick back, return, 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 okay? So I'm gonna do that side profile. I think you get a better understanding of the exercise. My feet are under my hips. I'm going to push my hips back, row it, and I'm gonna kick back and return it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, remember sometimes these combination moves work our cognitive health too, right? Help sharpen the mind, especially, we think of sharpening the mind as like, Sudoku or crossword puzzles and time, okay? We're going to go into our goalpost external rotations next. But sharpening the mind by thinking of those combinations and then applying body movement in addition to using your mind actually has more of a benefit, okay? All right, so here I am. My core is tight. I'm tucking my glute. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades back. Internal, external, return. So those elbows are coming back because I'm telling my shoulder blades to pull them back, right? We're thinking of the proximal part of the body as generating the movement here, okay? Squeeze back, internal, external, return. Internal, external, return. 5 more seconds here, and then we're going to go into our final round of this tricep. Okay, excellent. So if you're seated, you're going to go to your leg extension to heel lateral tap, okay, through the heel. And if you're standing with me, we're doing that chair squat, gently holding onto the back of my chair. And then we're going to go into a lateral heel raise. Here we go. So my feet are about shoulder width apart. I'm going to sink back, drive through the heels, lift, okay? Sink back, drive through the heels, lift through the heel. We want the heel to guide that lateral leg lift instead of our toe because that keeps the work into the glute medius. If we let the toe guide it, we kind of lose the part of the muscle we're trying to work. Two, and time, okay. Going into our hinge pattern. So with this one, we're hitting our hip flexors right here, our glutes, our hamstrings, our back muscles, and our triceps, okay? Here we go. So we're going to hinge, pull it up, kick it back in, lower, and then elevate, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Go ahead at your own tempo. And time, okay. Goalpost to external rotation is coming up here. If you're standing, your core is engaged. I'm kind of scooping and tucking to protect my lower back right here, okay? And the shoulder blades are pulling those elbows back, internally rotating, bringing it back up, return. So squeeze back, all right? Return. Return. Good. We're going to recover after this, get a drink of water, and move into our next superset. Last 3, 2, and time. Okay, shake those shoulders out. All right, go ahead and shake the neck up here. Get a drink. We're going to move into our next block, which is back to a 6-minute block, 2 exercises. We're alternating back and forth. Okay, so we have our alternating lunge. So holding onto the back of the chair. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you want that weight in the front of that heel foot. So if you feel like for some reason when you're coming down, your knee is really kind of jutting forward and your heel is popping up, make adjustments to your stance, okay? Walk it out, figure out a way that you can make sure when you lower down, the heel stays connected onto the floor so that you can really press through it and feel through here on your way up, okay? And then for our seated variation, that's gonna be our alternating seated leg press, okay? So that's where we're leaning back ever so slightly, press and down, press and down, okay? Now our next one is our half bicep curl. So we're coming up from the bottom position up to halfway, right? 90-degree bend through the elbow into our no money drill, okay? Again, working on shoulder health here. If your range of motion is limited in certain kinds of ways, here, internal and external rotation from that horizontal pattern will help strengthen those little rotator muscles within your shoulder complex, okay? So that looks the same seated or standing. So we're going to rotate through those 2 exercises. I am starting seated, so that means I'm gonna be doing the alternating leg press. You can go right into your alternating lunge if you're comfortable with that. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. I'm leaning back ever so slightly on the edge of my chair. I'm imagining I'm pressing something heavy away. My core is activated because I'm leaned back slightly. All right, I'm getting a lot more glute activation with this press versus our leg extension. Press it away. Create the tension with your mind. Ten more seconds here. 2, and 1. Okay, half bicep curl to no money drill. You can go anywhere from no weight to 5 pounds, I would say here, okay? So seated or standing, it's going to look the same. In 3, 2, and 1, I'm gonna curl up halfway, 90-degree bend in the elbow. I'm gonna pull out, keeping those elbows close to the rib cage and down. So halfway up, out, in, down, up, out, in, down. If your weight becomes too heavy and you need to drop it, go ahead and do that. You can finish it without the weight, okay? Keep the elbows close to the body. We don't want them to stray away from the rib cage. Less than 10 seconds here. 2, and time, okay. Back to the lunges, okay, or the alternating leg press. Round 2, I'm moving to standing. All right, so I'll be using the back of my chair for support. You may be advanced enough you don't need the back of the chair, and that's fine, okay? Please do what feels good for you. You might just want it there just to, as a peace of mind in case you need to grab onto it and find that you don't really need it, but it's there in case you need to catch yourself if you feel like your balance kind of falters on you. Remember, I like to use the counts for coordination and also to make sure I get proper muscle recruitment, right? So when you split up the rep, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't rush any of the movements and you get quality movement, okay? The more our neuromuscular pathway gets used to this movement and time, you'll find your speed kind of quickens up because your body is used to and understands the pattern very well. Back to our half bicep curl to no money drill. So standing, I'm making sure I'm scooping my pelvis, keeping my core engaged. I'm coming halfway up, elbows at 90, pulling out and in, okay? And down. Good. "15 more seconds here, and we're gonna go through it one more time. Two, and time, okay? Last round through of our alternating lunges or your alternating leg press if you're seated, okay? The chair is there if you need it, right? Let's count it out. So it's step back, lower, drive up, return. Other side, step back, lower, drive up, return. Right, that way you give each muscle in your leg and glute the respect it deserves to feel this. Rushing through it sometimes makes you miss the muscle contraction. So stay mindful. Think about each movement. Three, two, and one. All right, all done with lunges. Last round of our half bicep curl to external rotation here, okay? You're standing, make sure you're scooping just like that. That's going to automatically engage your core, okay? So you're scooping, that protects your lower back. And do this from the side. So 90 through the elbows, out, in, keeping the elbows close to the rib cage, trying to glue them there. Feel like we're rolling through this today. We're going to break after this, get another drink of water. We're on to our final block already. Three, two, and time. Okay. Go ahead and relax here. Get a drink. Block 4. 9 minutes long, 3 exercises. Trying to work the heart a little bit more on this last circuit, okay? Everything here is something that we've done before. Our newest one is our V step, which I think I introduced last week, okay? So the first one I'm bringing back, remember, and I didn't take away for too long, is our 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, hold. So from the seated position, you lose the lateral component, but you're still doing the 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, hold. We do a 3 count because that way every other leg gets the hold, okay? And then our second one is our V step. So from a seated position, I'm on the edge of the chair, I'm getting this Y raise, right? I'm getting this external rotation here. I'm getting this diagonal pattern here, which is going to work our middle and lower trapezius, which is towards our middle back here, which helps pull us up straight. It also works on our shoulder mobility. So we're going to do a V step, like old stuff. If you've done step aerobics, where it's out, out, in, out, out, in. So you're almost creating a star with yourself from that seated position. If you want to go up on your heels, you can. I might tell you to switch directions, all right, just to add that cognitive, that coordination factor, make the brain work too, okay? So from that standing, it's out, out, in, out, out, in. Might switch it up, out, in. So our lead foot might switch halfway through there. So be prepared that I'm going to tell you to switch your direction at some point through, okay? And then our last one, you know, one of my favorites here, rope pull. Okay, so like you're with intensity, like you're ripping down a sign you don't like, right? When you're standing, you know, I mean, you really need to make this all solid and quiet and like stable, right? You need to like squeeze and tuck that glute, just like I always tell you, tuck the pelvis, pull down, right to the hips, right to the hips, back and down, down and back, down and back, okay? Looks the same seated, all right? Looks the same seated. Okay, so first block, I will be seated. We're gonna start with our lateral 3-step and hold, okay? So if you're standing, you're moving to one direction and holding on that one knee, and then to the other and holding on that one knee. We're trying to work that opposite hand and foot pattern as well, okay? So let's go ahead and get ready. Lateral 3-step to hold, and 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So it's 1, 2, 3. Hold. 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 1, 2, 3. Hold, and 1, 2, 3, and hold. Okay, next one is our V step. So I'm going to be staying in a seated position. You're kind of making a, you know, again, that diagonal rotation up, getting lower and middle traps here, helping pull our posture up and getting that shoulder mobility. And we're adding the step out, in. From the seated position, I'm going to come up onto my heels. It just seems to make sense. Of course, you're not going to do that on your standing because you're standing on your foot, but all right, and think of the shoulder going back, okay? So not really using the elbow, we're using the knees, but we're really using the shoulder joint in this exercise. Good, that's it. 3, 2, and time. Okay, last one is our rope pull. All right, so we're still working the back, just a different part of the back now. Now we're working the lats, okay? We're working more of the outer side of the out and under side of the back, okay? Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Back and down, or down and back rather. Down and back. Pulling those knuckles right down towards the hips. Excellent. About 10 more seconds here, and then we do it again. Top around 2. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. All right, you might feel that heart rate elevated after feeling your breath up after you're finished. We're going back to our lateral 3-step and hold. You can remain seated if you like, or you can join me for standing. All right, so we're starting at one side of the room, and we're 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got a core stability here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Challenge yourself with how high you can get that knee. 2, 3. And make sure the opposite hand is up, like from your leg. So if your left leg is up, your right hand is up, and vice versa. Two, and 1. Okay, going back to our V step. Okay, so if you're seated, you can kind of tap out onto your heels. Now remember, this is what that movement looks like, right? See that with the arm, it's that diagonal rotational movement, okay? So we create a Y or a V, right? Or an X. Maybe it should be an X step. I just remember in step, it was always called the V step. All right, let's get a little challenging with it. And on this next rep, we're gonna switch directions, other lead, okay? Challenging your cognitive health through movement, thought process, switching up that body movement. Three, two, and one. Excellent. All right. So that was kind of this area of our back right here in the middle. All right. Now we're going to work this area of our back with our rope pull. Okay. Think of yourself as a tree trunk. Tuck the pelvis, squeeze. Everything stays quiet through here. Only your limbs, your arms are moving. Here we go. Back and down. Down and back. Keep it going. There's some intensity behind this pull down. 10 more seconds here, and we have one more round through. 5, 2, and time. Okay, one more round through. We're back at the top. We're going to our lateral 3-step and hold. Remember, if my right leg is up, my left hand is up, okay? And challenge yourself. See how high you can get that knee up, whether you're seated or standing. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3. Hold. Woo! 1, 2, 3. Hold. 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 One more. 1, 2, 3. Hold. Okay, time on those. All right, all done with those now. Going back into our V step for the final time. Remember, I'm going to tell you to switch directions halfway through, so be prepared for that, okay? All right, so remember, diagonal. It's rotational and diagonal, right? Here we go. Up, up, down, down, out, out, in, in. Get ready to switch. In 3, 2, and 1. Switch directions. Ten more seconds here. And we go to rope pulls. 2, and 1. Okay. Rope pulls are next. So remember, if you're standing, you're rooted, okay? Think of rooting your feet into the floor, squeezing your glutes. Your glutes, think about that. If you squeeze them, that's gonna make everything else, your body's not gonna be able to move around here too much. Ready? Back and down. Choke on the side. Get a step way. Rest 10 seconds. 2, and time. Okay, guys, nice work. Get a drink. We're going to cool down, okay? And we're going to actually do something a little different today. Our cool down is going to be just like our warm up, okay? So we are going to start with a seated cat-cow, all right? Seated cat-cow, and we're gonna do 5 repetitions. So I'm on the edge of my seat here, so I have room to move and bend, okay? My hands are on the edge of my thighs here, close to my knees, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and scoop around, tuck the chin, and then release, okay? Reverse the movement. I messed up my first one. What did I do there? 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now we're going to do 5 4-count cherry pickers from the seated position. You're going to go out, middle, in, or you can stand with me. Here we go. 5 reps. Out, middle, in, return. Out, middle, in, 2, in, 3, 2, 3, 4. One more. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, back to seated. All right, we're going to do our arc over and twist. We're going to do 10 total, 5 per side. Okay, so let's get ready. We're going to go ahead and reach and twist. Look behind that shoulder, and then the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, lengthen through that spine, make sure you're sitting up tall. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're going to do that one more time through. All right, so here we are, seated cat-cow for 5. Let's get ready on the edge of our chair. We're going to go ahead and round and tuck, and then reverse it and untuck. Heart to ceiling, okay? Really thinking about the flexion and extension of the vertebrae, okay? Think about how that spine is moving. Think of the mobility of the spine. 3, 2 more. 2, and 1. Good. All right. Back to our 4-count cherry picker, seated or standing. Okay. Feet are a little bit outside the shoulders. Here we go for 5 reps. Out, middle, in, 1. Out, middle, in, 2. Out, middle, in, 3. Out, middle, in, 4. Out, middle, in, and 5. Good. Final arc overs here, okay? 10 total, 5 per side. All right, so we're seated at the edge of our chair. We're gonna go ahead and start from one direction, and then we're gonna arc it over to the other. That's 1. 2, looking behind that shoulder. 3, 4, so think about how we're still working on that spinal cord, twisting. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, excellent. Real quick, press and pull. Let's stretch out that neck. This is a stretch I do every day. I never miss a day doing this. Breathe. And then the same thing other side. Press and pull. Breathe. Then we're going to go ahead and inhale it up, palms together, exhale, palms to heart. One more time. Inhale and exhale. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's class.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners. WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.